blocking off our streets and our roads in Warrington, and we certainly don't want the council thinking they can do what they want, when they want, without consulting residents first. Now, I know in the Orford area, they've started doing this survey about the proposed revised plans, which is a good thing. But my worry is that they're going to do it anyway, just like they did with Latchford. Yeah? You know, why should we have any trust in our council if they don't trust in us? Okay, so... Oh, thank you at the back. So, I know it's nearly Christmas, and hopefully we've all done our Christmas shopping. I've barely started mine. So I've did a little, I don't know if anyone's seen on Facebook the event, I've done a little Christmas song, which Steph is going to help me sing, and hopefully it won't get the rain coming. Oh, kill it. Hang on, it's on the floor. It's on the floor. Come on, let's, okay. We wish you'd remove the planters, we wish you'd remove the planters, we wish you'd remove the planters, so we can have a good year. And we won't go until you move them, and we won't go until you move them, and we won't go until you move them, so move them now. Yeah, let's do a repeat and then you can all join in. Okay. We wish you'd remove the planters, we wish you'd remove the planters, we wish you'd remove the planters, rid of them now. And we won't go until they do, and we won't go until they do, and we won't go until they do, so get rid of them now.
Anything else you want to add, Rach? You know, while you're live, after that lovely rendition.
Yeah, well, this is it.
Somebody's sneaking in.
There we go. Who's sneaking in?
Oh, sneaking in.
There you go. Is that your? You're a bit cold there.
I am a bit cold, yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit cold.
I didn't come out as well prepared as you guys did.
I'll call you guys in a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what's the hello? What's the deal? Why are we back out here? What have they done now?
Well, what haven't they done? No. So obviously we started this campaign because they tried to bring an LTN into, well, obviously my area, Orford, and also Westy area, with very little consultation. They didn't check with residents. They did do something based with the Central Six Forum. They tried to gauge what people wanted in their areas, but rather than come back with any kind of suggestions or something tangible to put to the residents, you know, they've done it on a very little mandate, and there's still a lot of people who aren't happy. Now, obviously they put it in Latchford, and as we saw from the results of the survey that the council conducted, as that Andy Carter conducted, very unpopular, you know, and it's not even the LTNs themselves that, you know, are unpopular. If you look at LTNs, they don't have to involve planters. I mean, blocking off roads is not the only way of conducting an LTN.
For anybody who doesn't know what an LTN is.
So it's a low neighbourhood traffic scheme, and the point is to try and encourage people to use the bikes and walk for shorter journeys. But the problem is, it's basically like a dictatorship, really, when you think about it, because instead of actually encouraging people to walk and cycle and putting cycle lanes in and encouraging people, what they've done is they've just given them no choice. Yeah, they've given no choice. Now, obviously, we got it stopped in Orford, which the majority of us from that area were very happy about. They've come back with these revised plans, which admittedly don't affect as much as Orford, because the main thing is they've stopped that bus gate on Howfields Road. Can understand why they put a bus gate on Smith Drive, and being honest, I know it's not very popular, but it is a no access road except to residents. But we can also understand why the residents are not happy as well, because we've got these planters, which again nobody asked for. It lowers the value of your home, creates more of a fuel cost for people who live in that kind of area, But it's the planters that people really don't like, you know.
So what's the goal for tonight's protest then?
Well, it's just basically, I mean, for me personally, it was to see how many people still supported us in doing this.
Still got a bit of a crowd.
We have still got a bit of a crowd, yeah, which is quite pleasing. But the problem we're seeing is that we've got almost 6,000 people on our Facebook group, and though this is a good number, we're not seeing the kind of numbers that we saw at our first protest.
Yeah.
You know, which is, I can understand, you know, people, you know, it got stopped in Orford, maybe people got a bit like, you know, distanced themselves after that because they got what they wanted, that's absolutely fine. But for me, this issue is bigger. It's not just about the council putting one thing in one area, it's about the council thinking they can do what they want, when they want, really. Steph, Jane, do you want to join me over here?
Hi Steph and Jane, how's it going?
Yeah. These lovely ladies are from the Latchford area, so they've obviously been very much affected by the planters going in. They've seen the chaos that they've caused on a daily basis. It's made their travel plans worse for them. So I really do feel sorry for these ladies because, you know, they're putting in all this effort to the campaign, you know, and the council just seem to be determined to kind of ignore the feedback. I mean, they've got rid of 2 planters on one road, and what they've effectively done is they've made it a council rat run. Now I hate the term rat run because it's a very derogatory term. You know, what animal do you know that will actually go the longest way around if it doesn't have to? Do you know what I mean? This is not about people taking the shortest route, you know, because if people drive safely, what's the problem with that? You know, rat run is just a derogatory term to stop people from actually questioning it, and I don't believe they should be called rat runs. At the end of the day, it's just a shorted route. But the problem we've got is rather than opening up Grange Avenue, they got rid of the planters in that on that little side road. So effectively you're going to have loads of people going down the side road instead of the council just doing what they should have done all along, which is open back up Grange Avenue. You know, we're not saying that we want our way and that's it. We're not prepared to kind of like speak to the council. We're not prepared to engage with them. Actually, we've been very prepared to engage with the council from the start. Russ Bowden has got my email address and since July I have heard nothing from him.
Have you got any opinion on Central 6 that you'd like to share with us tonight?
No, probably not.
No, I'd like to hear your opinion as a councillor. That's ignore your constituents, that's right. Well done.
So, you know, the council could easily, I mean, it's not me personally, but if they wanted access to engage with a large group of people who, in Warrington, who wanted their views heard on this, they have had opportunities to be able to do that. And when they have had the opportunities, like the survey we saw in Westy conducted by Andy Carter and also the council, they're not acted in the feedback in the way that residents have kind of said. You know, the biggest problem they said was the journey times and the traffic. Now, removing 2 planters is not going to solve that issue, unfortunately.
It's still taking your life into your hands on getting onto Kingsway, and you know, every single time you try and get out onto that road, you literally take your life into your hands. Well, it's all well and good for the councillors because they're sitting pretty wherever they live, and they don't have to make that journey with their children in their car. You know, and it's just disgusting.
It really is, yeah. But what I was going to say is, I don't think a lot of people. I mean, I'm very thankful for all the people who've turned up here tonight.
In the bitter cold, it is not.
Exactly,
it's not nice.
Such an important issue, and I'm also very grateful for the people who've supported this campaign from the start. But I don't think what's recognised as part of this campaign, I don't think a lot of people actually realise what we have to go through as admin. You know, I've been subjected to you know, personal attacks. There's been people who are quite happy to complain about events on posts and then not turn up or support other events, you know. And we understand that there's a strong feeling of passion, we do. But we've now got to the point where you know, we're sacrificing so much of our time, so much of our energy, so much of our family life, where we can't keep doing this, unfortunately. So, you know, unless we see some massive change in the next few weeks,
please don't ignore your constituents.
You know, I think there's a few.
Well, you were walking straight
in
past.
particular, we can't speak for other admin who aren't here tonight. But for us in particular, I think we're reaching our breaking point, you know, in terms of...
Okay, fantastic.
A little slanderous over there.
So yeah, for me personally, I am going to be stepping down from the campaign, and for various reasons. You know, over the past 6 months, I feel I've done what I can. I feel like I've tried to rally people. I think I've been successful in some ways, possibly could have done better in others. But it's hard running a campaign. You know, it's hard trying to get people to engage. Especially over a long period of time, because what you get is, unfortunately, you get quite a lot of strong apathy from people in terms of politics, where they actually think they can't make a difference. The council is quite happy to protrude that idea, so you know, a lot of people think they can't get anywhere. But for me personally, over the last 6 months has been very difficult for me. Obviously, I'm a foster parent. There's been a lot of stuff going on with the fostering, without getting into too much detail. My children are now in a position where they need me to be able to dedicate more of my time to them, you know, and it's just hard, you know, when you put so much time and effort in. You know, we've got a group of 6,000. It's very hard when you don't see the numbers, and we get that people work, you know, we get that people are carers, that, you know, this time may not work for everybody. We get that there are people with mobility issues who can't get here, we get that some people are ill. But in a group of 6,000, I refuse to believe that we can't get larger numbers. So yeah, I'm going to be stepping. Obviously, you know, at any point, if obviously we do see a change, then, you know, I'm not saying that it may be temporary. You know, if some of the plans we're hearing, I know Steph, you mentioned something tonight which we won't go into, but let's just say if they try and bring anything else in other areas, you know, we might step back up. But I just think with this particular issue, unless we see an uprise in numbers, you know, there's only so much I can do. And I just want to thank you ladies so much for sacrificing all of their time. All of their time and effort into this. The problem we're seeing from our council at the moment, I'm sorry to say, because I'm not against the council, I am apolitical, I don't support a certain party. Hi Wendy, alright. Don't support a certain party, don't you know, I don't believe in party politics. But the issue I take, which is in the grander scheme of things, is the lack of transparency and accountability and communication from this council, you know. Just the fact that they have, you know, refused to have the council meetings broadcast live, you know, that for me is very concerning. You know, they've not even given, what I can see, and forgive me if I'm wrong, you know, if someone wants to correct me on that, they've not given a legitimate reason for that, other than to say they don't think it'd be beneficial, which they haven't really gone into much detail on. You know, and I'm committed to holding the council accountable, you know, and to encourage them to offer good, transparent communication. Just because I'm stepping down from this campaign doesn't mean that I'm going to be
disappearing altogether.
Yeah, you know, I'll still be in the background, still be helping where I can, but for now this time seems right for me. Obviously I can't speak for these ladies, but for now the time seems right to me, to just pull back a little bit.
You're going to be taking the torch? You're going to carry on the charge, or are you going to take a little bit of time?
I'm with Ray on this one.
Yeah?
Personal time, finances, we've both got kids. And
mental health, perhaps?
Mental health, definitely. I can't tell you the stress that we feel every day when we switch on our sat nav and see that we're in the red again to get into work.
So this is kind of the final hurrah.
This is the last hurrah.
Yeah.
This is.
Big push, and then
well, let's see if they'll listen to us tonight.
We'll hope that they'll listen. But we've got, we've got a lot of personal things that we have to deal with.
You know,
nobody else sees, and unfortunately, our mental health, our children are suffering.
If
the time that we're giving to this.
If this final hurrah was gonna, if you were gonna get any result out of it, if you could snap your fingers, click your heels together, whatever, and get that result, what would it look like?
It would look like putting the roads back for people to use.
Superb.
Because at the moment it's gridlock, at the moment it's dangerous, and at the moment it is making people so angry that it is causing road rage as far as I'm concerned.
It's not safe for the kids, there's parked cars, there's cyclists going in and out of cars. We want a safe cycle lane, I'm all for that. More for people getting on the bike, but we're a community town and we need to be able to commute.
Personally, I'd like to see some real democracy in action where a councillor not afraid to listen to the residents, because unfortunately it seems to be that if you don't agree with a certain thing the council have done, then you must be completely against them. I'm not against this council, I never have been against this council. I think they do some good work in many other areas, and I've always maintained that. What I am against is not consulting residents and thinking you can railroad ideas through without actually taking the proper, in my mind, you know, it might not
process.
The proper process. I mean, I'm not even saying what they've done. You know, they've done everything legally. They've done everything by the book. What they have done is they've not done their moral public duty to their residents.
Great. Why? What's going on over there?
I'm not sure. We're thinking somebody's taking questions.
It looks like.
Should we film it? Go on.
Oh, we did have councillors laughing.
You're not listening. These people are listening. You're not listening to them.
was based on bringing an uplift to a deprived areas.
It doesn't though.
But it's deprived them even more.
But the very
Not just talking about traffic.
Talking about mental health.
Yeah, well, that's what you're doing.
shouting. But listen, if you want a show to not listen, that's fine. I know it's been recorded, but
Okay, right.
We're happy to listen
no,
if
you're
you're
not
prepared
listening.
to listen
You're
to
shouting
us.
at me. You're shouting.
Okay, right, guys.
You're
Right,
shouting.
okay, we'll listen to you. Maybe when you listen to us.
Well,
Obviously, feels
that's
he's
certainly
done his moral
interesting for the
duty.
debate, not hate. I don't condone shouting, but you've got to admit people are very passionate and feel very strongly about this. So when the council have treated their residents like they have, you know, maybe they need to consider why shouting becomes the only option.
And reducing it to only traffic. That's their answer. Reduce it to traffic. It's not just about traffic, it's about so much more.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. Good luck with it all, and all the best for the future.
Thank you very much for your support.